She raised her glass, smiled like a movie star, and said, "To my amazing husband Jordan, who might not know how to plan a vacation, fix a shelf, or satisfy a woman. But hey, he does take out the trash." I didn't laugh. Not because I didn't get the joke. I just knew I was the punchline. You ever felt the whole room tilt? Like the floor disappeared under you, but somehow you're still standing? That was me, smiling. Just enough teeth to pass for human. Inside, something snapped. The moment she laughed, something in me stopped listening. Not to her, to the idea that I was still her husband. Let me ask you something. If the person who's supposed to love you the most turns you into a joke in front of strangers, what would you do? Would you laugh along? Would you argue right there and make a scene? Or would you play it cool and destroy them in silence? Let me know in the comments. And if you've ever been played like that, hit like. If you're still healing, hit subscribe. Because this isn't just a story. It's how I got everything back and made sure she lost what mattered most. She thought that moment was funny. She had no idea it would cost her everything. Before the party, before the punchline, there was us. Back then, Gianna's laugh didn't cut. It healed. We started with one camera and a dream. 2 broke, nobodies chasing light and moments people would pay to remember. I shot weddings. She did portraits. Then we teamed up, called it Cantu and Brooke Studios. Just the 2 of us, editing late into the night, playlists looping, coffee cold. But we were warm. Back then, she'd fall asleep with her head on my shoulder, fingers still curled around a pen or a hard drive. We used to talk about building a future. A studio with big windows, a little house outside the city, a dog named Kodak. And then something shifted. It didn't happen all at once. No dramatic fight, no slammed doors, just little things. She stopped asking if I wanted to come out with her, started spending more nights with Galilea and Nathalia. Their girls' nights stretched later and later. I'd hear the garage door at 2 a.m. She'd say they lost track of time. I said nothing. You ever watch someone you love slowly turn into a stranger? It's like watching a movie where you already know the ending, but you can't walk out of the theater. Galilea just booked a weekend in Tulum. Girls only. She wants me to come. No smile. No, how was your day? Just a notification. I nodded. I always nodded. I didn't want to be the jealous guy, the clingy husband, but something in her laugh changed. It used to come from her chest, big, real messy. Now it was polished, filtered, meant for someone else's ears. We used to shoot every weekend together. Now, she booked gigs without telling me, told clients I was overwhelmed, but my calendar was wide open. She started saying things like, "You wouldn't get it," or "You've changed." But I hadn't. She had. The warmth was gone. We still shared a bed, but not sleep. We still shared a home, but not a life. No context, just his face, cropped tight, clean edit, titled, Client 01_final. My stomach dropped, not because I knew what it meant, but because I didn't want to. She'd started calling herself a personal brand, had a new Instagram, new logo, new tone in her voice. I wasn't her partner anymore. I was an employee she barely tolerated. But I didn't say a word. Not yet. Because when someone starts lying to you, you don't interrupt them. You let them build the story. Then you burn it down. She used to love me like she meant it. Now she loved the audience. You ever feel like you're living with someone who already left, they just haven't packed? Let me know in the comments if you've ever felt that shift, where it all looks the same on the outside, but inside it's already over. Hit like if you've seen it. Hit subscribe if you stayed silent long enough to watch the truth show itself. Because next, I stopped waiting for her to come home and started watching what she did when she thought I wasn't. Her phone buzzed at 12:41 a.m. I wasn't asleep. I just stopped pretending. She picked it up fast, like a reflex. Thumb swiped the screen with the kind of urgency that only comes from guilt. She tilted the phone away from me, but I saw enough. The name? Camera with flash client call. But the face? Kai good. I'd met him once. Flirty. Fake smile. Called me buddy. While standing too close to Gianna. I didn't like him then. I hate him now. She said she had to go meet a client at a cafe downtown. Said it was a quick headshot session. Said she'd be back by noon. I nodded and watched her lie to my face without blinking. You know what's wild? She used to panic if I didn't text back in 10 minutes. Now she'd disappear for 6 hours and act like I was overreacting. I didn't argue, didn't accuse. I just started listening harder. The password hadn't changed. She didn't think I remembered. Wrong. Inside her laptop were folders she thought were hidden, labeled things like client backups and raw sets. But when I opened them, there were no clients, no headshots, just dozens of photos of her with him. Not staged, not professional, not the kind of moments you document unless you're trying to remember something you shouldn't be doing. There was one photo that stopped my heart. Her hand around his neck, laughing like a teenager. That laugh I hadn't heard in months. The one that used to be mine. Dinner at Casella's I'd never been. Spa package at Eden's Bliss, booked for 2. A hotel reservation under her name with an extra key requested. She told me she was at Galilea's that night. Said they were doing a healing circle. Guess healing now requires champagne and room service. It wasn't just infidelity. It was planning, routine, comfortable lies told with the ease of someone who'd practiced. She wasn't sorry. She was careful, and I was done hoping she'd slip up. Because now, I knew. You know that moment when doubt becomes certainty? It doesn't feel good. It feels like drowning. Because even though you know, even though it's right there in your hands, part of you still wishes you were wrong. But I wasn't. She was cheating. Emotionally, physically, strategically. Gianna walks through the door later that day, drops her purse, hugs me. Too tight, too late. She smelled like his cologne. And still, I hugged her back, not because I forgave her, but because she didn't know yet that everything she'd built behind my back was already collapsing. You ever had to pretend you didn't know? Smile at someone who already broke you? Tell me in the comments. How long did you stay silent before the truth got too loud? Hit like if you've ever felt that fire building inside your chest. And hit subscribe, because the next time she lied to me, I made sure it was the last time. I wasn't guessing anymore. I needed answers. Not pieces. Not suspicions. Proof. So I hired someone who didn't ask too many questions. Ashley Bass. Private investigator. Sharp eyes, sharper instincts. She didn't flinch when I handed her the flash drive. Just gave me a small nod and said, "Give me a few days." She didn't even finish her coffee. For days later, she came back with everything. Photos, logs, records. More truth than I was ready for, but exactly what I needed. And there he was, Alicia Guzman. Not Kai. Not the guy with the smug smile from the party. No, this was someone deeper. An old friend from her past. A name I hadn't heard in years. Someone she'd once claimed was just a creative contact. Now he was a little more than that. Dinner dates, hotel lobbies, lingering touches captured in still frames. Ashley's camera didn't miss a thing. One shot hit me hardest. Gianna resting her head on his shoulder, mid-laugh, like they'd done this 100 times before. Not a fling, not a mistake, a routine. But what broke me wasn't the photos. It was the paperwork. Ashley slid over a thin file. Inside was a newly registered business. CNB Visuals, LLC. You know what that stands for. Cantu and Brooks. Except my name wasn't on it. Just hers. And his. My initials. My legacy. Our brand, rebuilt without me. They didn't just betray me. They erased me. One signature at a time. They were already pulling clients from our shared business. Emails rerouted. Contracts quietly canceled. Money slowly siphoned into a fresh, new account they thought I'd never see. But Ashley did. She traced every transaction, every meeting. And it was all laid out in front of me, like a crime scene. Because that's what it was. They weren't just sleeping together. They were getting everything I built and calling it starting over. She came home every night, kissed me like nothing changed, and smiled through her second life like I didn't exist. She wasn't cheating on me. She was replacing me. Quietly. Professionally. Permanently. And maybe she thought I'd stay silent. Maybe she thought I'd be too broken to fight back. Too stunned to see what was happening right in front of me. But I wasn't. I was wide awake. And I was taking notes. That night, I opened a blank notebook. Page 1, I wrote just one word. Payback. Because if she thought she could steal my name, my work, my future, and walk away laughing, she was about to learn something very important. Revenge doesn't shout. It signs the right papers. And it waits. If you've ever been replaced like you never mattered, tell me in the comments. If you've ever been betrayed with a smile, hit like. And if you've stayed silent long enough to gather every piece before striking, subscribe. Because now it was my turn. I didn't yell, didn't scream, didn't throw anything. I just disappeared from her game. Because when someone's lying to you, the worst thing you can do is interrupt. The best thing? Let them keep talking while you rewrite the ending behind their back. So I did. I started with the business. While she was busy building CNB visuals behind closed doors, I was setting up something better in plain sight. A new LLC under a shell company, one no one would ever tie back to me. Filed under a cousin's name. All legal. All clean. I called it Canta Studios. Simple. Personal. Just me. Then I transferred every client worth keeping into it. Quietly. Emails went out with a polished new logo. A better pitch. Discounted rates. All time during the hours Gianna was out shooting with Alicia. Half of our portfolio came with me in 3 days. She didn't even notice. She was too busy trying to impress people who didn't even know the full story. Then I went deeper. I changed every login, every password, revoked her admin access to our editing drives, our vendor accounts, even our business Instagram. The thing is, she was lazy. She never touched the back-end stuff. That was always my job. And now, it was my advantage. Then came the paperwork. Ashley helped me gather everything. Every shady transaction, every double-booked client, every dime moved without consent. I filed a complaint for financial misconduct under our original LLC. Didn't accuse her of cheating. Didn't call her names. Just facts. Cold, hard legal facts. She wanted a clean break. I gave her the kind of clean that cuts to the bone. But the final move? That one was personal. See, Alicia had a high-profile client, Nathalia Enriquez. Massive in the wedding industry. Millions of followers. Zero tolerance for scandals. She once dropped a planner mid-contract because he wasn't transparent enough. Gianna used to worship her. So I sent her a package. No threats. No letter. Just a USB drive with 2 folders. 1. Raw files, Gianna and Alicia. 2. Financial logs. Unreported income / double bookings. 3 days later, Nathalia posted a statement. She was cutting ties with Alicia, citing ethical violations and a breakdown of trust. And just like that, the golden boy lost his shine. One by one, their new clients started pulling out. Deposits canceled. Collaborations ended. Gianna tried to blame market shifts. Said people were jealous of their growth. No, Gianna. They were just watching karma in real time. She still had no idea I was behind it. Every move I made was silent, measured, precise, while she bragged to her friends about her new creative empire. I was emptying the foundation right under her feet. I didn't need to confront her, because soon she'd walk right into the truth. And when she did, there wouldn't be anything left to fight over. She took her shot at freedom. I just made sure it came with a price tag she couldn't afford. If you've ever taken back your power in silence, I want to hear it. Drop it in the comments. If you know that revenge doesn't have to be loud to be brutal, hit like. And if you're still in the middle of building your comeback, subscribe. Because the final act, that's when she came home and found out she'd lost everything. And I didn't raise my voice once. She came home laughing, still half drunk from another girls' brunch that definitely didn't include just girls. Hair a little messy, sunglasses on indoors, the smell of champagne and someone else's cologne trailing behind her. I was sitting at the kitchen island. Calm, coffee hot, phone face down, a small manila folder resting on the counter between us. She barely looked at me. Rough day, she smirked, tossing her purse down. You're up early. I nodded. Didn't sleep. She rolled her eyes. You should try melatonin or I don't know, not being so uptight all the time. Still smiling, still confident, still clueless, until she saw it, the folder. She picked it up, flipping it open like it was junk mail. First page, hotel receipts. Her name, 2 guests. Next, text messages pulled from her iCloud backup. Then the photos, her and Alicia, her and the man she swore was just a creative. And finally, the business registration. CNB Visuals LLC, registered behind my back, funded with stolen money, built on betrayal. Her fingers trembled, eyes darted from page to page, face draining of color. She looked up, lips parted. I can explain. I took a slow sip of my coffee. No need. You already did. She tried to speak again, but I cut her off. It's over. Personally, professionally, financially. Jordan, wait, please. I'm not waiting anymore, Gianna. I stood, calm, tall, like I hadn't just bled for months in silence. You don't live here anymore. Your access to the bank accounts is gone. The business? Gone too. Transferred. Locked. Legally protected. She took a step back, the paper still in her hand, like it might start burning. You can't just. I already did. I walked past her, grabbed my camera bag from the hallway. Behind me, her voice cracked. You don't understand. I didn't mean to hurt you. I was confused. No, I said, turning around one last time. You were calculated and sloppy. Her mouth opened, but she had no more lies left to give. I headed for the door. She called out again, softer this time. Jordan, what do you want me to do? I paused, looked over my shoulder. Remember what you did. That's all. And I left. No yelling, no threats, just silence. The same silence she gave me for months. When she lied, when she laughed at me, when she built her exit plan behind my back. Only difference. My silence cost her everything. I boarded a flight that afternoon. Window seat, camera bag tucked beneath my legs. A one-way ticket to the one city she swore I'd never have the guts to take over. I looked out over the clouds, the world below, quiet and clean. I didn't feel rage. I didn't feel regret. I felt freedom. She tried to humiliate me. I gave her silence. And that silence, it broke her. Because revenge doesn't need fireworks. Sometimes all it takes is a folder. If you've ever been betrayed by someone who thought they were smarter than you, if you've ever played dumb long enough to make your move, then hit like. If you've ever come out stronger after someone tried to destroy you, drop a comment. I want to hear your comeback story. And if you're still in the middle of it, subscribe. Because this isn't just my story. It's yours too. And I promise, there's power in the quiet ones.